Hello, everyone. It's Byron and Diane, or Dee, whichever you want to call me. Byron and I were talking about talking to our spirit guides and connecting with them. And Byron's got some really awesome stories with his spirit guide, which you'll hear in every single solitary recording.
Mm-hmm.
Except for maybe in the very beginning, and which at that time we didn't know who she was. And so we're going to have to re-listen to our very first ones, and she might have been there too. But I'll let Byron tell a story of who she is. And
Yeah, her name's Evelyn. I called her Helen all the time by mistake. I couldn't. What's her name? It's Evelyn. Oh, I don't know Evelyn. Anyway, her name's Evelyn, and she got a real high, squeaky voice.
Yeah.
But she's every time you turn on, it's hi Byron. But that's not the thing. The thing is that, one day, my wife, got upset with me because I'd take something to move and I wouldn't put it back where it belongs. So she couldn't find it. She gets upset and she hides my car keys, my wallet, my comb, I don't know, my hairbrush, everything she hid on me. And she said, now try and find them. And so I said, Evelyn, where's this? And I'd walk right over to it. Now she wasn't talking to her. I heard a voice in my head. It was like intuition.
right.
I say, Evelyn, where's my wallet? And I go walk over it and I'd find it. Evelyn, where's my car keys? I went over to that jar and dug them out of the jar. There they were. Evelyn, where's my comb? I'd find it. Where's my brush? I found everything within
10 minutes, I think.
just not very long.
And one of them, I couldn't believe it, because we have what do you call that thing there?
A little cabinet.
A little cabinet. And in the office, we got a cabinet. He never looks in there. And so I thought, I'm going to fix his little cookie boy. And so I took whatever it was. I can't remember what now, but I did write a blog post.
Wallet or something.
I wrote a blog post about where I hid him and what it was, I think. And then I put it under a bunch of papers and shoved it way in the back and covered it up. There was no possible way. You couldn't see it. Closed the cabinet door. There's no way that you would, why you would even look in there. And within just minutes, I couldn't believe it. And here you found it. Right there. You went in there and found it right away. I was so shocked.
Yeah, and that was just one thing. Another one was I had a bad wheel on the garage door. Because the garage door has wheels that rolls up
rollers.
The tracks.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I had run over the car. One of them fell off, and I drove over at the car and broke it. So I needed to get a new wheel, and so I took a good one off so I could take it to Menards with me, so I could replace it with the same exact wheel. The one that was
the same size.
Yeah. So I brought it in. And I set it by my computer. So, and then I don't know. It was a week or 2 weeks later. I had to run to the store for something, and I'd run other times, but this time I had to. And I got in the car. And
I had locked the door.
You locked the door and went to lay down for a nap.
No, I was going to take a shower, so I locked the door.
So I got in the car to take off, and I thought, dang it, I forgot I was going to get that roller and take it with me to Menards and buy a new one so I can fix the garage door. And when I looked down in the console...
Nope, then you came...
Yeah, I was going to come and get the roller out of the office.
And the door was locked.
Door was locked, and I thought, and the car was already run with the key in, and I said, the heck with it, I'll do it another day.
Yep.
I went back out the car, I got in the car, locked my seatbelt, I looked down in the console, and there's the roller was set next to the computer, was in the car, and I didn't put it there. It somehow floated or materialized from the office inside the car. And I went, Wow, I didn't even think that. I said, oh, thanks, Evelyn. I backed out there. I went to Menards, bought a new one. And then when they come home, I told you about it.
Yeah. So she helped you out there. And one time, which I'm not sure if I did a blog post about it, but one time you were remodeling and you needed needle nose pliers.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, I walked into the living room where I had one of my toolboxes. Because at that time, the whole house was a disaster. Because we're remodeling everything. And I went into the living room and I have a toolbox. One of those plastic ones that you shut it down. And it's also you can sit on it or stand on it. Well, anyway, it was open full of stuff. And I looked in there for the needle nose. There are special ones. They have orange grips and they're long and it has like the needle nose part is angled and they're big. And they needed those. And they weren't in there. So I went out in the garage and looked and stuff and I came back in the house and I told you, I said, I can't find them. I don't know where they are. I said, well, ask Evelyn. I said, all right, Evelyn, where's my needle nose pliers? And I'm not expecting much, right? So I just said, okay, yeah. When I walked out and I walked back in the living room for something and I looked and there's the orange handle sticking out of that great plastic toolbox.
That you had already looked, searched.
I just was there looking in there and it was
like it was sticking out.
Now the orange handle's sticking up in the air.
Yep.
I come back with them and see, Evelyn.
Yep. Thanks, Evelyn. Yeah.
And this has happened quite a bit
Yeah.
with me.
Many, many times. That was when you were more at the now.
Because I'm one of those people that can use something, put it down, and forget.
Where you put it.
If I don't put it in exactly the same spot every time, I put it in a different spot than I normally put it, then I can't find it.
Now, before we close this one, and it's got to be my number one top favorite. Byron and I were in the office here, and we were doing a session, and Byron was trying to figure out who his spirit guides were, and the woman's voice said, "Come on," and she was his spirit guide. What was your name? Evelyn. And Byron goes, "What? I have a woman's spirit guide? Well, why haven't you been helping me all these years?" And Evelyn says, "I have been. You just haven't been listening." That's got to be my all-time favorite. I roared and I laughed. And I think of that so many times. I have been. You just haven't been listening.
I wish I would have listened.
Yeah.
I could understand women better because it's not an easy thing to do.
Yeah.
And she could have been saying, no, do this, do that.
But, no, I'm not sure if we did tape record, but I might have wrote a blog post, but we'll share about some other experiences where we were getting back because we had lost touch, got back in our heads again and lost touch with hearing our spirit guides talking and following what we heard, and we started practicing it again, and for some reason it had snowed like the night before, and you said when you were coming home, in your mind it kept saying, when you get home, you better do some snow blowing. And your mind, of course, said, I don't feel like it. I don't really want to do any snow blowing. And then I was taking a nap when you come home. And so you thought, you heard in your voice in your head, you should go out and do the snow blowing. And you thought, no, she's taking a nap. I'm not going to go out and blow snow. I'm going to take a nap. Taking a nap sounds like fun. You know, a lot more what I want to do. So you went and lay down on the couch and you said, Did the alarm clock ring or did you just hear?
I don't know. I swear I heard an alarm go off.
You were laying down and
Yeah.
and it was like an alarm going off, and
Yeah.
and then you'd hear, "Go blow." You should go blow the snow. And you went no, and you said it kept alarm clock kept going off, and you kept saying no, I don't want to. But then I wake up, and I get up from my nap, and I come out and I see you laying on the couch, and the very first thing I say to you is, "Why aren't you out blowing snow?" And I think then that's when we got in that pickle where then it snowed even more, and then you had to go to work, and so you had to call in late for work, and we had to go out there and shovel just to get you out.
Mm-hmm.
Or if we would have blowed the snow, then you would have been good, but your mind talked you out of doing what your intuition said, which we know your intuition is your spirit guide or higher self trying to tell you something, you know. And then so you said, "No, I'm not going to talk myself out of it again," and you and I, it was like every day things like that happened.
Well, yeah, when I can't find something, I'm a real good listener with my spirit guide, but when my spirit guide wants me to do something I don't want to do, I'm deaf.
Your mind says, "No, I don't want to do it." Yeah. But I know I had some things that happened too, and it was like, and you don't do it. You get this in your mind, and you know it's not your thinking because you wouldn't have thought that.
Uh-huh.
So you know it came from your spirit guide or higher self, and then you talk yourself out of it that you don't do it, and then an hour later or so, karma hits you, and
well, it's like
and you
you're
regret
dreaming
doing
about
it.
something, and you remembered it at that moment. Oh yeah, I'm gonna write that down. I'm gonna write that down. Oh, I'll remember that. That's almost everybody's fatal mistake.
Yep.
When they're dreaming about something and they say, "I'll remember that." That's pretty obvious. There's no way I can forget that. And 2 seconds, or if they wake up, they forgot it.
Yeah.
What was it? I was dreaming about.
Always write it down. Always write it down.
Yeah.
Or like Byron said, "Why don't you bring the tape recorder?"
Yeah.
Again, we have this one tape recorder that's pretty dandy
Just
where
push the red button and
you just push it and it starts right away. You don't have to mess with it. And he said, "Tape record it. Say it in the tape recorder, then go back to sleep." So that's what I've got to do.
Then try to remember that you actually put it on the tape recorder.
Well, that's eventually you'll get it off there, but because we are always using our tape recorder. Our tape recorders are going all the time. But anyhow, if you've had experiences with good intuition, where your spirit guide tells you something and you talked yourself out of it, or your intuition came and it helped you, or any kind of stories that you would love to share, we'd love to hear from you. Please leave a comment, share with a video reply, anything. We'd love to hear from you. And thanks for listening to us chat, and we'll talk to you again soon. Have a good day and have a blessed week.
See ya.